I built a luxury car dealership after they called me a loser. Now my sister, ex-partner, and parents are furious I repossessed all the cars I sold them when they stopped making payments. Hey beautiful souls. Take a second to subscribe, drop a friendly hi in the comments and tell us where you're watching from. Now let's continue the story. The champagne glass shattered against the marble floor, silencing the room. My mother stood there, eyes blazing, her words still echoing. You're pathetic, Monique. 28 years old and still can't afford a decent car. It was my birthday dinner. The one I'd saved 3 months for at that upscale restaurant. My hands trembled as I clutched the edge of the white tablecloth, feeling every eye in the establishment on us. Mama, please, I whispered, my voice cracking. Can we not do this here? My sister Carolyn smirked from across the table, her manicured nails tapping against her wine glass. Truth hurts, sis. Maybe if you had actual ambition instead of working at that rundown auto shop. I'm a master mechanic, I interrupted, my throat tight. I've been saving. Saving. My father's laugh was harsh, cutting. For what? You've been saving since high school. Meanwhile, your sister just closed another real estate deal. He gestured proudly at Carolyn, who preened under his approval like always. My ex-partner Darius, who I'd foolishly invited hoping we could reconcile, leaned back with arms crossed. I tried to tell you, baby. You need vision. Big picture thinking. That's why we didn't work out. The waiter approached nervously with my birthday cake. I stood abruptly, my chair scraping loud. Keep it, I said, grabbing my purse. My voice was steady now, cold. And don't worry about me anymore. Any of you. As I walked out into the humid night air, tears streaming down my face, I made a promise to myself. They wanted ambition. They'd see ambition. They'd see what a loser could build. If this resonates with you, please subscribe and hit that notification bell. 3 days after that disaster, I sat in a lawyer's office with documents spread before me. My hands shook as I read the letter again. Ms. Johnson, your grandmother Loretta left specific instructions. Attorney Mitchell explained gently. She wanted you to have this after she passed. The full amount is $340,000. I couldn't breathe. Grandma Loretta. The only person who'd ever believed in me. She died 6 months ago and I'd been drowning in grief ever since, working double shifts to keep myself distracted. She left a note, he continued, sliding an envelope across his desk. I opened it with trembling fingers. Grandma's handwriting blurred through my tears. My sweet Monique, I've watched you fix broken things your whole life. Cars, relationships, other people's problems. Now fix your own life, baby. Build something they can't take from you. Show them who you really are. Always knew. Love forever, Grandma. I sobbed right there in that office, not from sadness but from overwhelming gratitude and determination. For 2 weeks I told no one. Not my parents who'd called twice asking for money for their cruise. Not Carolyn who'd texted asking to borrow my tax refund. Not Darius who'd suddenly started liking my Instagram posts again. Instead I researched. I planned. I visited dealerships, talked to bank managers, studied luxury car markets. I found a struggling dealership on the east side. Beautiful showroom, terrible management, desperate owner ready to sell. At night, I'd lie awake calculating numbers, imagining walking into that showroom as the owner. The thought made my heart race with equal parts terror and exhilaration. My phone buzzed. Mom, Monique, your father needs $3,000 for his truck repair. Family helps family. I turned off my phone and kept working on my business plan. The former owner, Mr. Patterson, a weathered white man in his 60s, looked at me skeptically across the negotiation table. You're young, he said bluntly. And this business will eat you alive if you don't know what you're doing. I slid forward my portfolio. 5 years of mechanic certifications, customer testimonials, my business plan with projected revenues, financing options I'd secured. I know cars better than anyone you'll meet. I know what luxury buyers want because I've serviced their vehicles for years. And I know this community. He studied me for a long moment, then extended his hand. You remind me of my daughter. Same fire. All right, Ms. Johnson. Let's make this happen. 2 months later, I stood in front of my showroom at 6 a.m. with the keys in my hand. The sign still read, Patterson Luxury Motors. But that would change. The morning sun glinted off the glass windows, and I could see the silhouettes of the Mercedes, BMW, and Lexus models inside. I'd done it. At 28, I owned a luxury car dealership. The first month was brutal. I was there before dawn, leaving after midnight. I personally detailed every car, trained new sales staff, rebuilt relationships with suppliers. I renamed it Elevation Luxury Motors. I wanted that name to mean something. Rising above, reaching higher. My family still didn't know. They thought I was still turning wrenches at the old shop. Carolyn had posted on social media about her latest commission. Mom had called asking when I'd get a real career. Dad hadn't called at all. I hired Benjamin, a sharp young salesman who reminded me of myself. Hungry, overlooked, talented. "I won't let you down, boss," he'd said during his interview, and I believed him. 3 months in, we were breaking even. 6 months in, we were profitable. By month 8, I had a waiting list. I was in my office reviewing contracts when Benjamin knocked. "Boss, you have visitors." They're insistent. My mother, father, and Carolyn stood in my showroom, looking around with obvious confusion. My stomach dropped. "Monique." Mom's voice was sharp. "What are you doing here? We've been calling you for weeks." I walked out slowly, my heels clicking on the polished floor. I dressed for success today. Navy suit, hairstyled, confidence I'd built brick by brick. "I work here." Carolyn laughed. "Work here? What, detailing cars now?" "I own here." The words came out steady, powerful. I gestured around the showroom. "This is mine. Elevation Luxury Motors. I'm the owner and CEO." The silence was deafening. My father's face cycled through disbelief, shock, then something darker. "You're lying." "Mr. and Mrs. Johnson." Benjamin appeared with a knowing smile. "Your daughter has built something incredible. She's one of the most respected dealers in the region now." Mom's expression shifted rapidly. "Why didn't you tell us? Your own family." The question hung in the air. I remembered that birthday dinner, the humiliation, years of being dismissed. "You never asked what I was doing," I said quietly. "You were too busy telling me what I wasn't." Carolyn recovered first, her salesperson instincts kicking in. She touched a Mercedes, her voice suddenly sweet. "Well, this is amazing, sis. I'm so proud. You know, I've been looking for a new car." And there was the shift I'd expected but hoped wouldn't come. Not pride in my achievement. Just what they could get from it. Dad cleared his throat. "Family should help family, Monique. Maybe we could discuss financing options. Special rates." I smiled, but it didn't reach my eyes. "Of course. Let's talk." Over the next 3 months, they all bought cars from me. It started with Carolyn, a pearl-white Mercedes-Benz E-Class she'd been photographing herself beside for weeks on social media. "Since we're family, surely you can work something out on the price?" I gave her a fair deal. Market rate with reasonable financing at 6.9% interest. She'd signed the contract, barely reading it, too excited about her new status symbol. Then my parents. "Dad wanted a loaded BMW X5. After all we've done for you, raising you, this is the least you could do." Mom chose a Lexus ES 350 pearl interior, every upgrade. I gave them the same terms I gave Carolyn. Fair. Professional. Documented. The surprise came when Darius walked in 6 weeks after my family's purchases. He'd heard through mutual friends about my success. Suddenly, the man who'd dumped me for lacking ambition wanted back in. "Baby, I made a mistake," he said, all smooth charm in my office. "We were good together. And look at you now, everything I knew you could be." My associate Tanya, a fierce woman in her 40s I'd hired as sales manager, gave me a knowing look from outside my office. She'd been through her own toxic relationship. She saw right through him. "I'm not interested in rekindling anything, Darius." "I'm not asking for that," he lied smoothly. "But I do need a car. And who better to buy from than someone I care about?" Against my better judgment, or maybe because some part of me wanted him to see what he'd lost, I sold him a midnight black Audi A6. Same terms as everyone else. He signed with that confident signature I'd once found attractive, already planning his Instagram photos. They all made their first payments on time. Then the second. I almost let myself relax. Payment 3 came late from Carolyn. She texted, "Sorry sis, commission got delayed. Next week." Sis. I let it slide. Family grace period, I told myself, ignoring the warning bells. Payment 4 from my parents? Dad called. "Monique, your mother had some medical expenses. We'll catch up next month with double payments. Darius's payment 5 bounced. He came in person, all apologies and excuses about a business investment gone wrong. You know I'm good for it, baby. Give me 2 weeks. Tanya pulled me aside after he left. Boss, you seeing what I'm seeing? This is a pattern. It's just a rough patch for them. No. Her voice was firm but kind. This is testing boundaries. I've seen it 100 times. They're seeing what they can get away with. I didn't want to believe her. These were my family. My ex-partner. People I'd known my whole life. But by month 6 of their ownership, the pattern was undeniable. Carolyn was 3 payments behind, making excuses about real estate market fluctuations while posting vacation photos from Cancun. My parents were 2 months behind, still asking me to join them for Sunday dinners where they'd praise Carolyn's success and barely mention my business. Darius was the worst. 4 months behind, avoiding my calls, but I'd seen him at a club downtown with another woman, laughing, clearly not struggling the way he claimed. Benjamin brought me the reports. Boss, if these were any other customers. I know. My voice was tight. I know what we'd do. So why aren't we? I stared at the numbers, feeling that familiar tightness in my chest. Because they were family. Because I wanted to believe they respected me now. Because some small part of me still craved their approval. Give them 1 more month, I said. 1 more chance. The call came at 2 a.m. My mother's number. I answered groggily. Hello. Monique. Not Mom. Carolyn. Her voice was slurred, angry. You need to stop harassing me about this car payment. You got your little business now, you don't need to be so pressed about money. It's pathetic. I sat up, suddenly wide awake. Excuse me. You heard me. Calling, texting, having your people call me. I said I'll pay when I can pay. God, you're so money hungry now. Success really changed you. Something inside me snapped. Cling. Final. Like a bone breaking. Changed me. My voice was cold. I gave you a car at fair terms. You agreed to the payment schedule. You signed a legal contract. And now you're 3 months behind while posting pictures at expensive restaurants. That's my business, she shouted. And you know what? This is why nobody wanted to invest in you before. You're so rigid, so uptight. No wonder Darius left you. Get off my mother's phone, Carolyn. My mother's voice came on, defensive. Don't talk to your sister like that. She's going through a hard time. Are you behind on your payments too? Silence. Then, we raised you, Monique. We sacrificed everything. Did you? The question came out sharp. Or did you just do the bare minimum while making me feel like I was never enough? And now I'm supposed to subsidize your lifestyle because we share DNA. How dare you? I hung up. My hands were shaking, but not from fear. From clarity. At 8 a.m. I walked into my office where Tanya and Benjamin were already waiting. Pull the files. Carolyn Johnson, Robert and Patricia Johnson, Darius Williams. Prepare repossession notices for all 3. Tanya smiled grimly. About damn time. No more family grace periods, I said. They're customers who violated their contracts. Treat them accordingly. Attorney Rodriguez sat across from me reviewing the contracts. A sharp Latina woman in her 50s with silver streaks in her black hair. She'd built her reputation defending small business owners. These contracts are airtight, she confirmed. You have every legal right to repossess. They're in material breach. The question is, are you prepared for the fallout? What do you mean? She leveled me with a knowing look. Family doesn't just accept this quietly. They'll make you the villain. They'll tell everyone you're heartless, greedy, ungrateful. Are you ready for that? I thought about that birthday dinner. The years of dismissal. The way they'd only shown interest once I had something they wanted. I'm ready. Good. She slid papers toward me. Sign here. I'll handle the legal notices. You focus on running your business. The notices went out via certified mail on a Monday. By Tuesday afternoon my phone was exploding. 53 missed calls. Texts ranging from pleading to threatening. I blocked them all. Wednesday my father showed up. Security stopped him at the door while I watched from my office window. He was red-faced, yelling. I could see him gesturing wildly. Benjamin handled it professionally, showing him the legal notices, explaining the process. Thursday Carolyn posted on social media. Some people get a little success and forget where they came from. Cutting off your own family over money? That's cold. Pray for those who've lost their way. Sis. The comments flooded in. People who didn't know the full story rushing to her defense. Family is everything. Money isn't worth losing your people. She's being so petty. Tanya found me staring at my phone. Don't read that garbage. They're making me the villain. Let them. She squeezed my shoulder. The people who matter know the truth. Your customers who pay on time? They respect you more. Your employees? We're proud of you. Sunday. The day I used to dread because of mandatory family dinners. Now I was there for a different reason. I'd been summoned. They were all waiting. Parents, Carolyn, even my aunts, uncles, and grandmother on my father's side. An intervention. I felt like I was 18 again, small and powerless. Sit down, Monique. Dad's voice was authoritative, the one he used when he expected obedience. I remained standing. I have 15 minutes. Say what you need to say. My Aunt Joyce, always the family peacemaker, spoke first. Honey, we understand you're hurt about something, but repossessing your own family's cars? That's extreme. Did they tell you they're collectively 9 months behind on payments? That's over $18,000 I've lost while they post vacation photos and buy designer bags. Carolyn rolled her eyes. Oh, here we go with the money again. Yes, the money. This is a business, not a charity. Family takes care of family. Mom's voice cracked. After everything we've done for you. Stop. The word exploded out of me. Stop saying that. What exactly did you do? You provided basic necessities. Congratulations, that's called being a parent. That's the minimum requirement. You didn't support my dreams. You mocked them. You called me a loser in front of a restaurant full of people on my birthday. The room went silent. Several relatives shifted uncomfortably. You were being sensitive, Dad started. No. You were being cruel. And now you want special treatment because we're related? You want me to go bankrupt subsidizing your lifestyle choices. Carolyn stood up, her face twisted with anger. You're so self-righteous now. You think you're better than us. I think I deserve respect. And payment for services rendered. That's it. Then take the cars, Darius's voice came from the doorway. I hadn't seen him there. If that's what you need to feel powerful, take them. I looked at him, really looked at him. Once I'd loved this man. Now I felt nothing but pity. It's not about power, I said quietly. It's about boundaries. The tow trucks arrived at dawn. 3 teams, 3 addresses, coordinated precision. I'd hired a professional repossession company. Rodriguez had recommended them, and they knew their work. I didn't go myself. I couldn't watch. Instead, I sat in my office with Tanya monitoring the updates via text. 6:47 a.m. Mercedes recovered from Johnson, Carolyn. Subject attempted to block vehicle. Police called. Situation resolved peacefully. 7:15 a.m. BMW and Lexus recovered from Johnson residence. Male subject, father, recorded entire interaction. Threatened lawsuit. All legal. 7:43 a.m. Audi recovered from Williams, Darius. No resistance. Subject still sleeping. It was done. 3 cars back in my possession. $18,000 in lost payments I'd never see. But something more valuable gained. My self-respect. My phone rang. Unknown number. I answered. You're going to regret this. Carolyn's voice was venomous. I'm telling everyone what kind of person you really are. Your customers, your employees, everyone. Tell them the truth then. That you signed a contract and didn't honor it. No one will want to do business with you after this. If they don't want to do business with someone who enforces legal contracts fairly, they're not customers I want. She hung up. The phone rang again immediately. My mother. Monique, please. Your father is having chest pains. The stress. Call 911, Mom. Don't call me. I hung up and turned off my phone. Tanya looked at me with concern. You okay? No. My voice shook. But I will be. That evening, Benjamin brought me the cleaned vehicles ready for resale. Boss, I know this was hard. But you did the right thing. Then why does it hurt so much? Because you're not heartless, he said simply. You're just finally choosing yourself. That's not easy when you've spent your life choosing everyone else first. The backlash came fast and brutal. Carolyn's post went viral in our community. She'd crafted it perfectly, all emotion, no context. Imagine being successful and still being so insecure that you repo your own family's cars. My sister has become someone I don't recognize. Money changed her. This is what capitalism does to people. Turns them against their own blood. She'd rather have $18,000 than a relationship with her family. That's not the sister I grew up with. 5,000 shares. 8,000 comments. My business page flooded with one-star reviews from people who'd never even been customers. Greedy businesswoman destroys her family over money. This is disgusting. I'll never shop here. Black businesses wonder why we don't support them, then pull stuff like this. I sat in my apartment reading each one, feeling the walls close in. Maybe they were right. Maybe I was heartless. Maybe. My phone buzzed. A message from an unknown number. Ms. Johnson, this is Brenda Williams. I was in that restaurant on your birthday. I saw what your family did to you. What you're doing isn't wrong, it's brave. Don't let them gaslight you. Then another. Monique, this is Patricia Reeves. I bought my Cadillac from you last year. I saw your sister's post. I also saw the contract terms you gave me. Fair, honest, professional. She's lying by omission. I'm posting the truth. Patricia posted her own story. Let's talk about Elevation Luxury Motors. Monique Johnson gave me the best car buying experience of my life. She was transparent, fair, and went above and beyond. If her family signed contracts and didn't pay, that's on them. Business is business. I support this Black woman entrepreneur 100%. More customers started posting. Real reviews. Real experiences. The tide was turning. Tanya burst into my office the next morning. Boss, you need to see this. A local business reporter had picked up the story, but with a different angle. Young Black woman faces family exploitation after building successful dealership. They'd interviewed attorney Rodriguez, who'd explained contract law. They'd talked to customers. They'd even found the restaurant manager who remembered that birthday dinner. The narrative was shifting. 3 weeks after the repossession, I received a visitor I never expected. My father's mother, Grandma Diane, who I hadn't seen in 2 years. She walked into my showroom with a cane, her silver hair immaculate, dressed in her church clothes. Monique, baby, can we talk? We sat in my office. She looked around, taking in everything. The photos on my wall, my business awards, the view of the showroom floor. Your grandmother Loretta called me before she passed, she began. Told me she was leaving you money. Made me promise to check on you, make sure you used it right. My throat tightened. I didn't know. She knew what my son and his family were like. Her voice was heavy with sadness. Lord knows I tried to raise him better. But he learned from his daddy. Take what you can get, especially from women. Grandma Diane. Let me finish, baby. I came here to say I'm proud of you. What you did, standing up for yourself, that took courage. My son is ashamed because you held him accountable, and he's not used to that. Especially not from a woman. Especially not from his daughter. Tears spilled down my cheeks. Everyone thinks I'm heartless. Let them think it. You know what Loretta told me? She said, Diane, that girl's got more heart than all of them combined. That's her problem, she loves too much, gives too much. I'm giving her this money so she can build something they can't guilt her out of. She reached across and gripped my hand. She was right. She stood to leave, then paused. Your daddy called last night. Asked me to talk sense into you, make you give back the cars. I told him he'd raised a fool if he thought you'd fall for that again. After she left, I sat alone in my office and cried, not from sadness but from relief. Someone from my family finally saw me. Finally understood. That evening, Grandma Diane posted a photo of herself at my dealership. Asterisk, proud of my granddaughter, CEO of Elevation Luxury Motors. Hard work, integrity, and boundaries, that's what builds success. 6 months later, I stood in my expanded showroom. We'd doubled our space, hired 5 more employees, and our reputation had never been stronger. The social media storm had paradoxically brought more customers. People who respected boundaries and fairness. The 3 cars I'd repossessed? Sold within 2 weeks. I actually made a small profit after refurbishing them. My family hadn't contacted me since Grandma Diane's visit. Radio silence. Part of me missed them, the idea of them maybe. The family I'd always wished we could be. But I didn't miss the anxiety, the guilt, the constant feeling of never being enough. Darius reached out once, a late-night text. Asterisk, I'm sorry. You deserved better. Asterisk, I didn't respond. Some apologies come too late. Benjamin had become my right hand. Tanya was training new hires. We'd built something real, something sustainable. Something mine. The letter came on a Tuesday. My mother's handwriting. I almost threw it away. But curiosity won. Monique, your father had a heart attack. He's okay now, but it made us think about things. About you. We were wrong. I don't know if you'll ever forgive us, but you deserve to know. We were scared. Scared of your success because it showed us our own failures. Scared that you didn't need us anymore. That doesn't excuse what we did. Just explains it. You built something beautiful from nothing. Your grandmother would be proud. I am too, even if I never showed it right. Love, Mom. I folded the letter carefully. Put it in my desk drawer. Maybe someday I'd respond. Maybe not. The choice was mine now, and that felt like power. The real victory wasn't the business or the money. It was knowing my worth. Standing in my truth. Building boundaries that protected my peace even when it cost me people I loved. That evening, I locked up the dealership and drove home in my own luxury car. A gift to myself, paid in full. The city lights blurred past my windows, and for the first time in my life I felt free. Not free from the pain of what I'd lost, but free from the prison of seeking approval from people who couldn't see my value. Free to build a life on my own terms. Free to be exactly who Grandma Loretta always knew I was. Enough. The success wasn't about proving them wrong. It was about proving to myself that I was worth fighting for. That my dreams mattered. That boundaries weren't cruel, they were essential. I'd built an empire from their rejection. And that empire stood tall, not on what they'd given me, but on what I'd given myself. Belief, courage, and unshakable self-worth. If this story touched you, please like, subscribe, and share your own experiences in the comments below. Remember, choosing yourself isn't selfish, it's survival.